Hello and welcome back. This section we're going to be talking about animal behavior. So let me go ahead and get that presentation up for you. Okay, so this section we're going to be discussing animal behavior. And again, my name is Emily Nolan. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to animal behavior is what is animal behavior? So animal behavior is defined as the manner to conduct oneself. So the actions of the animal to show what they're thinking. When we talk about animal behavior, having a behavioral profile is something that is observable in normal behavior patterns for that animal. So different species, different types of breeds of an animal, different types of breeds of dogs are going to have different types of behavior profiles, just like people have different types of behavioral profiles. For example, I'll use my dog. Jolene the Bloodhound will sleep most of the day and only plays for 1 to 2 hours a day. So that's part of her behavioral profile. She likes to sleep most of the day, and then she really doesn't play but maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, and that's normal for her. That may not be normal for your dog or your animal, but that's normal for her. And I know that because I take care of her and she's with me most of the time. So a lot of times we'll talk about different owners and different caretakers, and they are used to these animals and know what their normal behaviors are going to look like. So we're going to talk about what's not normal versus what's normal. Each animal has behaviors that are normal for that animal based on the species or even the breed of that animal. So a horse isn't going to sleep. It's only going to sleep in 15-minute increments. It's not going to fully lay down to sleep. That's perfectly normal for a horse. That is abnormal for a dog. It may be caused, these dogs may be stressed and that's why they're not sleeping, something like that. So that leads us into there are also behaviors that are not normal for the animal, which may indicate that something is wrong with the animal. For example, not eating, pacing back and forth. You can tell that they're uneasy. As humans, we do a pretty good job of looking at an animal and recognizing when they may not feel good or when they're uncomfortable. We see some of the same behaviors, and certain animals are really good, such as dogs, are really good at showing their behaviors and showing their intentions to us. However, sometimes it can be tricky. So let's continue on. Why is animal behavior important? Behavior can be one of the best communications between the animal and a person. So that's something we need to think about and be aware of and look for when we're working with these animals. Animal behavior can help veterinary professionals to know if an animal is sick. Is the animal in pain? Where is the animal hurting? Is the animal stressed? It can be a warning about how the patient is feeling. Is it angry? Is it scared? Is it hungry, tired, happy? When you see our dog and their tail's wagging, man, they're so happy to see us. However, we get over to our cat and we see their tail thumping on the side, they're not very happy to see us. They're actually angry. So these are things we want to think about. Different species are going to communicate in different ways. So if you look at this picture off to the side here, this dog may be stressed. He's shaking, shivering, he's shedding a lot. He's yawning, acting like he's sleepy, mimicking some behaviors, excessive whining or barking, pinned ears back, panting for no reasons. He's got a tucked tail. Maybe he's got some digestive problems. He's stressed. So those are things you want to look out for when you're working with animals or even your own pet. The animal's behavior tells us if the animal might be dangerous to us. So sometimes when they're stressed or they're angry or they're in pain, sometimes they can want to bite us or cause us injury to get away because they're scared. So that's something we don't want to put ourselves in that position. We also don't want to put the pet or the patient in that position. What are your pets trying to tell you? So are they hungry? Did they bring you their bowl or sit by their bowl or bark for their bowl? Do they need to go to the bathroom? Are they pawing and whining at the back door? Are they getting the leash? Different behaviors like that. Aggression, are they growling? Are they barking? Is their hackles raised up? For cats, their tail thumping. Are they looking at us really intensively? Are they playful? Are they jumping around, bringing us toys to play with? One of my dogs, when he wants to play, he brings me a toy, and that's his way of saying, hey, I'm ready to play now. Are they sleepy? Are they yawning? Are they in a relaxed posture? Are they laying down? Are they sitting? Are Are they panting a lot after they've ran around? Okay, maybe they're tired and they don't need to be playing anymore because they're worn out. If they're sick, are they lethargic? Are they whining? Are they not eating or drinking as they normally would? Are they limping? Are they having problems? Are they in pain? Licking a hurt area, sometimes they'll try to lick that area to kind of like, they feel like it's like massaging your, like if you hurt your arm, it's like massaging your arm. That's kind of what it feels like for them. Are they not wanting to walk around a lot because it hurts? Maybe their back, maybe their legs, maybe their stomach hurts. Are they whining? Are they panting? Some of these same behaviors can be interpreted differently with different social cues. So like panting, they may be sleepy, they may be in pain. What else is going on with them around the panting that may give you clues as to what they're trying to tell you? All right, different ways our pets talk to us. So they have vocalizations, barking, whining, growling. Cats talk to us in that kind of way. They meow at us. If you have a cat and it's hungry and it wants its food, it'll sit by the food or paw or sit on your face even and meow at you. Panting, are they breathing really hard and fast with their mouth open? Is that normal breathing for them? Or is it relaxed and slow and their mouth is closed? Posture, are they standing, sitting, laying down? How the animal holds their body when they're sitting or standing. So maybe if they're hiding, their leg that they're not putting pressure on, they may be hurting. They may need to be seen by a veterinarian. Movement, are they pacing? Or will they not lay down and get comfortable? If it's normally a time where everyone's like starting to go to bed, I'll start to know my dogs are starting to lay down, kind of tuck themselves in, wind down for the evening, or we're sitting there watching a movie. I know when some of my dogs are stressed or they're sick or they're not feeling good, they'll be pacing. They'll not lay down for a long period of time. They'll lay down for a second and get right back up, which means that, hey, I'm uncomfortable. I can't settle down. Not wanting to move or walk around. This sometimes happens in our older patients. They're getting older, their joints are hurting, laying down, they're just not wanting to move. They're not feeling good. And that's kind of like for you or me. If you're not feeling good, sometimes I just want to lay there and sit and be still. Temperament, are they playing? Are they sleeping? Are they hiding? Are they watching you? Sometimes when dogs are stressed or when animals are stressed, they'll watch you intently because they don't know what's going to happen. What is normal for your pet? So kind of think about what your pet goes through, if it's a cat or if it's a dog, what they go through in a normal day. So is your dog normally very energetic? They do something called zoomies. So zoomies are super common, bigger dogs, labs, pit bulls, things like that. They like to get out in the yard and then they just run around like crazy. Are they super energetic? Is that something that they do every day? Well, if you come home, you let them out, they don't want to do zoomies, they just want to lay around, that may be abnormal for them. Do they play a lot? Do they jump up? Chewing, there's certain types of dogs. If you see this lab here in this picture, he has made a mess. So sometimes dogs really, they just want to chew, they're investigating, and when they chew, they're investigating their surroundings. So what life phase is your animal? So younger dogs are going to want to play more than older dogs. The type of play will change over time as your dog learns good play behavior. And that's something that as they get older, as they interact with you or other, you take them to the dog park or something like that, or you get another pet, they will learn how to interact and what is acceptable play behavior. What breed is your animal? Different dog breeds have higher energy, prey drive, social interests. German Shepherds are not equal to Yorkshire Terriers. If you think about what German Shepherds do, they work for police. They are meant to shepherd sheep. They round up these herding animals. They're constantly running, constantly working. This is something super important. Yorkshire Terriers were not meant for that. They're meant to be lap dogs and social dogs, and they're meant to be with us all the time and carried around, and they're going to have different interests. And that goes into type of dog. So think about the different types of dogs. There's working dogs, toy breeds, sporting dogs, hound dogs, terrier group, herding dogs, and non-sporting dogs. So think about what kind of breed, if you have a dog, think about what kind of breed your dog is, if it's a mixed breed or what kind of breeds it has in it, what it looks like, and think about some of its behaviorisms. Think about what it does on a day-to-day basis, what it enjoys doing, and think, hey, maybe this is what he was designed to do. Maybe this is what he was bred to do. So just kind of think about that as we continue talking. So is the animal in pain? This is one of the biggest, most important things as veterinary technicians. We are advocates to make sure that our patients are not in pain. Sometimes the veterinarians are super busy. They have a lot of patients. It is super important to notice, hey, I think this dog is in pain or this patient is in pain. Let's get him or her some pain medication. Let's make sure that they're not hurting. There's two types of pain. So there's acute pain, which is short-term, few days, few weeks, things like that. Oh, I've sprained my ankle or something like that. I've got a bee sting or I cut myself, something like that. That's acute pain. Chronic pain is long-term, months, years. If you have arthritis, you have a chronic injury, you have chronic illness, it's going to be long-term things that they're dealing with. And we have to kind of treat those differently. Ways animals show pain. So they may be lethargic, they may be more sleepy. Cats, when they're in pain or they're sick, sometimes they hide from us. They won't show themselves. Having accidents in the house, if they're housebroken, if they're sick and they're hurting, sometimes they're going to have an accident in the house when that's not normal for them. And that's a time that you may want to bring that up to your veterinarian and talk to your veterinarian about these behaviors. Aggression in some animals mean that they're in pain. Like I said, they're scared. They don't understand why they're in pain. They think possibly you could cause them more pain, even if you're their owner and you've loved them, but they are scared and they don't know why they're in pain. And they can't like talk to us and communicate to us in a verbal manner, such as we're using words. They're able to talk to us through their behavior. So panting, like I said before, vocalization, they're barking a lot, anxious behavior, pacing, not being able to settle down or not wanting to go in and out or wanting to go in and out of the house a lot. You know, those are things you want to look for and maybe discuss with your veterinarian if you see those. If you look at this picture to the right here, it has what's called a pain scale. So we rate these, this is a pain scale that we use in the veterinary profession, and we rate these 1 to 4, and it gives different scenarios on what the patient should look like at different levels of pain. When we intake a patient and I come up to the veterinarian and I say, yes, I think this patient is in a lot of pain. They're like, well, how much is a lot of pain? I'm like, oh, he's a level 3 on our pain scale, meaning he's in a good bit of pain and we should get him some pain medication. So moving on. Why vet techs need to know about animal behavior. An animal who is sick is most often in pain, and sometimes being in pain can make the animal aggressive. We've kind of already talked about that. A lot of animals in pain are scared that we might make the pain worse. They don't know where the pain's coming from, and they're in a different environment, they're in a different situation. Sometimes they're taken away from their owner or caretaker to receive treatment, and that can be kind of scary for them. We can't talk to the animal and let them know that we mean no harm. We can tell them, and I talk to my patients like they know what I'm saying, but that doesn't always communicate to them. Knowing animal behavior means using techniques such as giving the animal a break. If you're working with them, trying to take x-rays or things like that, get them in a certain position, maybe take a break for a few minutes, let them relax, kind of take a break for a second. Or asking the veterinarian to give this animal some medications for pain. It keeps us vet techs safe. It is most important to be safe when you're working with these animals, whether that's at home or in a clinical setting. When vet techs do not pay attention to what the animal is trying to tell us about their pain and sickness, they can get a really bad bite. I've been bitten before. Other technicians have been bitten before. It's a mistake that we make and it happens, but we need to try to minimize that as much as possible because, ouch, it hurts. And if you look at this cat down here, he is not happy with what is going on. So maybe he is not very okay with this. Knowing animal behavior keeps us safe, like we talked about. Vet techs aren't the only people who can get injured from an animal, though. So it's not just vet techs who need to be safe. everyone needs to be safe when they're working with an animal. It's very important to pay attention to your own pet. Are they playing really hard? Maybe they're kind of pushing the limits or crossing the line for what's acceptable play behavior. Do they not feel very good? Does your pet not want to be petted right now? Cats are extremely notorious for coming up to you, but not really wanting to be touched or just being in your environment. And sometimes they can scratch you or bite you because they're like, no, I don't want to be touched right now. Is your pet scared? Is there a thunderstorm going on? Is there loud noises? Is there a lot of people at your house? Things like that can scare your pet and sometimes make them a little bit more aggressive just because they're trying to protect themselves and maybe even protect you. It's extra important when working with large animals. Large animals give large injuries. As somebody who's worked with cows and horses and things like that, it's not just a bite or a scratch. You can break your arm, you can break your leg, you can get a huge laceration. Sometimes it could even kill you to work inappropriately with these animals. So some times where that's super important is horseback riding, cattle chute operating. So if you look at this horse down here on the bottom right-hand corner, he's got his ears pinned back. He's telling that owner he is not happy. He does not want to be ridden today. He doesn't want to be social, and he might kick you. He might bite you. So those are things you want to be aware of, that's what he's trying to tell you. If you look at this other man working with these cows down here, he is working with a cattle chute. Cattle chutes keep us safe. And you can kind of see that here. It's like a little pin with areas, and he can still work with the animal without the animal being able to kick him, bite him, run him over, headbutt him, anything like that. Swine, pigs are notorious for being super aggressive, especially if they're not worked with. So, and then of course there's other instances with large animals that can be dangerous and we want to be aware of. So like I said in the last video, normally if we were in person, I'd have you ask questions and we could go over those questions. However, we're not, but please feel free to email me at emily.nolan@famu.edu anytime. Also, you can call and contact me here at the UF IFAS Extension Office in Jefferson County. I am in office from 8 to 5. And yeah, so I can answer any of those questions at any time. Please feel free. Additional resources that I used for this here. And so that is the end of our presentation for today. I hope you guys had lots to think about with animal behavior. Send me those questions and watch your pets at home and kind of think about these key terms and how you can be safe around your pets or the animals you work with. Thank you guys for your time. Bye-bye.